First of all, yesterday I told him, I says, hate to tell you, I'm going to have at least this many, on Monday rather, I'll have all that many coming from my budget too. And I told him I left my entourage at home. But anyways, so
all the fishermen, they're mad about their license.
They are? Well, you know, that just happens. They'd be madder, oh, there's other things they'd be madder about than that.
They're more upset about the size of the fish than the license.
Yeah, well, they're, of course.
You ready?
Yes, sir, I am.
Good morning. It's July 17, 2019, and we're beginning budget hearings for the day, and we're starting with Cindy Beck, our county clerk. Good morning.
Good morning, commissioners. I'm hoping I'm at the end, getting towards the end of this, so I'm hoping this is, you know, old hat to you by now. My budget's not really overly large, so it's not too much to worry about. I'm going to give you a little bit of a background on what the county clerk's office, kind of a little bit, some for Commissioner Rippon's sake, but just some just in general. The county clerk's office is established under KSA 19301 et sec. This office is entrusted with several statutory obligations. I am the keeper of the official county seal. I swear in all elected officials, boards, and officers. I serve as secretary to the commission. I assist in non-school taxing entities with their budget process. And I also have to review every budget that is presented for every taxing entity in the county. I set all the tax levies. I prepare and certify the tax roll to the county treasurer every year. I receive and review applications for economic development, and I coordinate with our bond counsel for on industrial revenue bond requests. And I administer the payment of all the bills in the county, and I serve as the county's Freedom of Information Officer. And interesting enough, in my memo that I put along with my budget, I usually give you the number of open records requests under the Kansas Open Records Act. And this, in 2018, we had approximately 75. And so I thought, well, it might be interesting to see, you know, we're in July, where we are. So far this year, we've had 66. So wow. To know that these have been received and responded to in a timely manner, which is, you know, which we pride ourselves in, but it's just saying that we as a county haven't necessarily had anything controversial going on, but it's just that there's a lot of people going, we just want to know, and then they find out that they can contact my office and they can get this information because the bulk of the information that we have, unless of course confidential payroll information or such like, is open to them, and that should make you feel comfortable that they feel comfortable enough to have almost doubled the number of open records requests that we had last year. You know, we're almost there already this year. And since my office is elected, and the majority of my duties are statutory, I have, and they're pretty very specific to what I have to do and can and can't do. In my office, I have 3 divisions. I have my administrative, economic development, I have accounts payable, and I have a tax administration, real estate. And in these departments, I have 11 employees. 5 of them are non-union, or 6 of them are union, and 5 are unclassified. We have found that with the expansion of our technology, you know, thanks to our IT department, that with all the research that we do, and it isn't just my administrative staff that has to do research, but with all the research we have to do, whether it's for an open records request, or it's for another department, or it's for the state, or for the city, we find it is just so much faster and so much more efficient because of because of the technology that we have, and that is wonderful. So we have made it a priority in my office to have the paper to digital, you know, as much as we can. So if you walk in my office and you see there's a little black box about that big sitting on most of the desks in the office, and they can, as they're doing their paperwork and they're done with it, they can scan it in right sitting at their desk, which has proven to be extremely, extremely helpful. I know, especially in our the budget area, we have to keep all of the budgets. I didn't know if you knew that or not, but we have all of the budgets that are given to us, that are filed with us. We have to keep them forever. And so we keep a scanned copy of them, and then the lady that was here from the Kansas Historical Society, we have some very, very, very old budgets that we would love to get off the premises, and we will see if they would be willing to take them, because if we can, because, you scan, you start this way and you go both ways. You do the back stuff when you can, and you do everything that you have going forward, and that helps keep everything, ahead. And we're still emphasizing cross-training within the divisions, so with, from the supervisor down, and between these three divisions. The accounts payable is a little tougher because they have, pretty much they work mostly with audit finance, but between the administrative and real estate, those all, they can all kind of help each other, and that helps tremendously with our customer service. When we have Homestead come in, the individuals applying for that, I don't only have 4 people who can help these people with their homestead. I have 6 people, because they can, my administrative staff can help along with that, and that proves extremely helpful. And my 2020 budget, it is neutral, except for I had a $150 increase on my in my services. I'm renting a rug, a 3x10 rug. I have new carpet squares in my office, and the entry coming into my office, we're renting that for $2 and some odd cents a week, to help protect the carpeting, because when we did go from the old carpeting to the new carpet squares, that area was horrendous, and so that is essentially, other than the pay increases, the salary increases, everything else in my budget is absolutely flat. So, Annie, that is pretty much what I have to say, and I will gladly answer any questions.
Was an entry doormat?
It's it's a big 3x10 rug, just a dark gray rug that comes from my front door, kind of up to the counter, and that's, like I said, you should have seen what the floor. Even if people come in the front door, walk across that rug, walk down the floor, they still, there are many times that I have grease and mud and various and sundry things there. So this helps kind of pick up that as they're heading to to the real estate and area, and that does help a lot.
It's
So-
through our uniform vendor.
Right,
They
the
come and
contract,
change it out
right.
every week. or
Yeah,
two.
once a week, yeah. Yeah, it's like the ones at the entryway, that same contract with them. So I didn't have to get a separate contract, I just could add on to that.
Rug rental.
Rug rental. Yeah,
Okay.
works out good.
You have anything?
This budget is really tight, and we just don't have a lot. And if you've watched any of the budget hearings, we're getting down into the weeds, talking about, $5,000 here or $10,000 there, really into the weeds.
Mhm.
And I'm just asking this just for the point of, just so it's on the table and we're talking about it. Under your accounting area, you have an account position 4 that has a salary allocation of $32,000 that's
Mhm.
vacant. And this is a position that's been held vacant for a couple of years. Are we looking to fill it anytime soon? Is it considered still a necessary position? And if we're not filling it, and if it's not immediately necessary, would we be able to take that $32,000 for this year, knowing that at some point in the future, we might need to put that position back? So,
Okay,
3-part question.
Right, 3-part question. I like 3-part questions. Yes, I obviously am aware that we have that position available, and that is a discussion that I will have with Rhonda, the supervisor from that area. We will talk about the needs and the, I don't want to give it away if I can't, because sometimes as an elected official, it's harder for us to get those positions, allocated to us, and were it to come, for me or whoever would be in my shoes at some point in time when, if you three aren't here, that's something I have to look at too. However, if it's the prospect that we will not need it, that's, I can go in and look at, make that a consideration.
And the reason I ask again, this is a position that's been held vacant for more than 24 months.
Right.
And so if we're going on 2 years with it as a vacant position, and I absolutely understand that it's, once things are given up, it's almost impossible to get them back.
Yes.
And so I understand the need to want to protect that so that if in the future you might need it. But at the same time, I think that, as the commissioners, we're looking literally under every stone. And so even if there was a memorandum of understanding that says,
Oh.
we're taking this, but, we understand that, again, as you said, we all have expiration dates.
Well, Betty and I have very good memories too. We do remember when I gave it up, and so if you're looking for $5,000 from every department, I'm going to be covering several departments. No, I'm just kidding.
And again,
If I-
yeah, and again, I only ask just because this is really the appropriate time to ask it. And again, with a position that's been held open for 24 months, just looking at do we still keep it on the books,
Right.
or do we not?
Okay, I will look into, I will actually meet with her today, and I will get back with Betty on that, and we'll discuss that.
I appreciate
Yeah.
that. Thank you very much.
Commissioner Rippon?
I really don't have any questions.
Okay. I don't either. Would like to compliment the county clerk. He has a well-run shop, but being in the position for so many years, that's what I would expect. But thank you for the teamwork and working with other departments within Shawnee County. You mentioned FOIA, and that's critically important
Yes.
for the public. And the response, what's our goal, 48 hours for response?
Well, we have, it's hard to say. We're supposed to respond within 3 days. You have the 3-day response time.
Okay.
But, if there's just sometimes that you cannot have the information, the documentation respond. So we will always respond to them saying that we have received your request, and many times we don't even get to that point. We just, we have so many things electronically that we can just forward it on to them. But if we have to forward it to another department, like we actually had one yesterday, and we had to forward it on to another department, I really can't control how soon they will do it, so we just respond with a generic, we have received it, please consider this your 3-day notice. We will be responding to you as timely as possible, and that is what statutory requirement is. And we always work with the county counselor's office on, not on everyone, because some of them are relatively simple, but if there's anyone that would ever, maybe file a claim against the county because they thought maybe we didn't respond timely to a CORA, I know better than that, because those kind of requests, that kind of a request would have directed to the county counselor's office, and you can guarantee that they went, everything was, all the Ts were crossed and the Is were dotted on, something like that. So we make sure that we meet them, so
Very good.
far.
Thank you so much. Keep up the good work. It's appreciated.
Thank you, sir.
Do you see a lot of the same people asking for requests? Is that,
Yes, we sometimes, yes, and sometimes, it all depends on what happens. A lot of it is comes from what you people do. And if the same person who's standing here asking questions or drilling you might be up at my office 5 minutes after the commission meeting is adjourned.
understand?
Sometimes. And sometimes they're just, newspapers have a tendency to, newspaper articles have a tendency to pique people's interest to find out what it is, if they weren't here. And the fact that somebody did bring up about the meetings being, actually on Channel 4, I think that may have, be why some of our stuff. And court cases, I mean, you name it, we just have, anything can make someone want information, and we're available to help them.
Very good.
Okay?
Again, thank you. Stay
Sure.
cool.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, okay. If you need to talk, finish.
Yes, I'm here all
I'm
day.
here all day. Yeah, I'm here all day.
Well, anyway, there's these two summer districts.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do it right now, because I just want to, I just want to get this, I just want to get this contract.